All right, everybody, welcome back. Totally Driven Radio. Good old Corey Feldman. He is blowing up, man. His book is. I wonder if the bestsellers list came out yet. I wonder if he's on there. I mean, he's been all over TV with promoting the book.
Did you read any of it yet?
You know, I got it, and I have not started reading it yet. I have like a backlog of books now. I'm still working on the Theo Fleury book, and then I have to read Corey's book, and we just booked. Today, Bobby Brown, she's coming back in a few weeks to promote her book, and they're sending me a advanced copy. Like, I got to quit my job and just read books now, which would be a beautiful thing. So, are you ready? The true star of the show is on the line. He's waiting patiently. The man of the hour, the legendary actor himself, the man who we just found out, well, I just found out at least, that he can sing incredibly, and it shocks the hell out of me. But welcome to Totally Driven Radio, the one, the only, Mr. Robert Davi. How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Good.
Finally we speak.
Finally we speak. I know my wife who does PR for us, she has been in heaven going back and forth with you for the past few weeks.
She's a wonderful lady.
Oh, thank you, and I'm sure
really
she's smiling. I'm sure she's smiling ear to ear right now.
well, she should. She's very on top of everything and very supportive of what you guys are doing. And totally driven, is that like listen while you drive, or totally driven crazy? What is that?
It's a little bit of both.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see tonight how many CDs we sell of Davi sings Sinatra on the Road to Romance on Amazon or iTunes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got my copy, was from Amazon, and I was listening to it earlier, and it's amazing because I'm going to say I remember being a kid. I'm almost my mid-40s, and I remember being a kid and seeing you on TV as a kid, and doing character roles here and there, and you always played like the bad guy. And I always remember seeing your face as the bad guy. And my wife, when she, started talking with you, she said, you got to hear this. And then she started playing, like, videos off YouTube and all. And I was blown away because I never would have pictured you as a singer, let alone sounding as good as you do.
Well, did you? I mean, I've got that Christmas single coming out as well, New York City Christmas. You can get that on Amazon. It's a brand new original song. But just to, I played the good guy on Profiler for 4.5 years. I don't know if you ever saw that show. It had the FBI.
Right.
And I've done some films where I played the edgy bad guy, like the Maniac Cop series, and I did what was it called? Under Surveillance and Dogfighter, and a lot of different films. I played the. But you remind you'll know me from Bond and Die Hard and of course Goonies.
Sure. But
so where are you located?
We're based out of Philadelphia.
Good old Philly.
Good old Philly.
I have a lot of family in Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My grandfather on my mother's side, my mother's father, his name was Stefano Rullo. And he had a brother, Geraldo Rullo, and they went, one part went to New York, and the other guy went to Philadelphia. And there were 8 brothers, all in Philly, who played sports. Jerry Rullo played for the Philadelphia Warrior basketball team.
Oh, wow.
Back in the Coosby day. And he also coached at Temple, was a ref and coach at Temple University. Joe Rullo played for the Philadelphia Phillies baseball team right after World War II and coached Penn State baseball.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have like a bloodline of entertainment kind of all throughout your blood.
Well, we got something there, I'm sure, and I mean, I don't know if, at least those were athletic. We had fighters too. There was Amato Rullo, who was a heavyweight champion, but Philly is a great city, and I have fun there. Sid Marks is a great guy. He has Sundays with Sinatra. He's a legendary DJ guy that's out in Philly. I love him. And also the Termini brothers. Get great cannoli from them, let me tell you.
You know what? We go there. We usually go there once every 2-3 weeks, and I love their pizzelles. And I go there and get their pizzelles.
The pizzelles. Well, do you ever get the cannoli there?
Yeah, of course, of course.
You got to get the cannoli, and you got to get the crispy, the well done Regina, and you got to get the. They have the other ones, the guacamole, and they got the other thing with the pinoli cookies. Yeah, that's just a great place.
Look at you. He knows his Philly. This is nice. So I guess your family that was there, they were. I'm going to say South Philly then.
Yes, the Italian section, wherever that would be.
Yeah.
South Philly.
You know what? They probably somehow knew my family because my family's all throughout South Philly.
Yeah, you're Italian, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And what part of Italy are people from?
You know what? I don't know. How bad is that?
Well, you should change yourself then. That's very bad. Are
it
your parents
is
still
bad.
alive?
No. Nope. They're all gone. Parents, grandparents, all gone.
A little hard, yeah. How do you say their name? Rodney, right? Ragni?
Ragni, yeah.
Well, Ragni is if you want to Americanize it. Ragni, the G is silent in Italian. You don't go Ragni. You go Ragni.
Okay.
Ragni. Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing that now then.
Yeah.
Now, see, I know what part of Italy my family came from. And,
where's yours from?
So actually, I don't know what part or the breakdown, but I know they are from Sicily.
So who's this I'm talking to?
What's that?
Who's this?
I'm sorry. I'm the co-host, Frank, and the last name is Namoli.
Namoli.
Yeah, Namoli.
Namoli. Namoli, like an N?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Frank Namoli, how are you?
I am good, sir, and how are you?
So I got Frank and Jess, right? No.
Yeah, Jess is here too. This is her husband, Bay.
This is Bay, and Jess is your wife, right?
Right. And actually, my real first name is Basso.
Basso.
Yep.
Basso. Basso.
Yes, sir.
Basso Ragni. So
yep.
you maybe you were a singer, huh? One of your family may have been a singer.
You know, it's kind of weird. Like, I was named after my father, and he was an artist. He was a painter. And I would, from time to time, I'll do, like, searches to see if I can find any of his old paintings floating around, because he actually used to have a gallery in South Philly. And it turns out there was a Basso Ragni in Italy who was also an artist.
Look at that.
And I guess he was like a really famous artist.
Well, maybe you should start painting.
You know what? I used to not paint, but I used to draw when I was younger. But now my daughters, both of my daughters who are 16 and 9, are incredible artists. It's scary how incredible they are at their age.
Well, that's wonderful. So it's skipped in there.
Yeah. I tried to do music, and the music I was trying to do was the heavy metal stuff of the 80s, where
I
the
heard
guys
from your opening.
Yeah, where the guys looked like girls, and I was more worried about poofing my hair than worried about playing my guitar. So my dedication was in the wrong area.
Well, let me tell you something right now. You should be playing some cuts. My music. Here's what I expected. I expected my music to be the opening music to my entry into your radio world.
Well, how about I have Summer Wind queued up? If you'd like, I can play that right now for you.
No. We could talk more. As long as you have a few things to play people so they can hear it and then go to Amazon and get, because it's the holiday season, they can get 10 copies apiece for their family members.
It'd be a great, you know what? That's an idea I could do for Christmas, because we do a great big family Christmas party, and we give out gifts. And I'm going to give out your CD to everybody.
Everybody that buys 10 CDs, if there are people that buy 10 CDs and can prove it, they'll get a Christmas text.
There you go.
How's that?
Christmas text from Robert Davi if you buy 10 CDs.
Yeah, and then check out the Christmas song, New York City Christmas. I know you're in Philly, but it's a terrific It's going to be a great tune coming out soon. November 25th, that comes out. But, all right, so what do you want to talk about there, Cochise?
Well, since we're talking you singing Sinatra, let's go right into the music part of your career as of now. Like, how long have you been singing for?
Well, I was singing as a kid. I studied opera in Florence with Tito Gobbi and with Dan Ferro at Juilliard, and then I went with Samuel Margulies, who taught Robert Merrill. And currently I've been with Gary Katona, who's one of the best in the world. I think it's a tremendous voice builder guy. And I won awards in high school, first place, New York State School Music Association solo competition, and then, love the opera and, of course, love music and everything else. Could you hold 1 second? Can we hold?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, it's...
That's all right.
I'm in the middle of filming stuff. Hold on. I'll get right back.
Okay. Look at that. We've been put on hold, but that's all right. It happens in the world of, entertainment.
Hey, you got to just appreciate the guy taking time out of his the probably busy schedule shooting. What if he's shooting the Expendables 3 right now?
You know what? He was just over, I think, like in Germany or Belgium or somewhere they were shooting that. But if you look on IMDb, he's got like 7 or 8 pictures. He's back. Yeah, I was just saying, like, you're like in the middle of like 6 or 7 or 8 like pictures or something you're filming.
Well, I just finished Expendables 3. I've got Lost Time coming out. I'm doing this new thing called T- that I start, which is a sci-fi thing with Tia Carrera. Probably for it's pretty good, pretty interesting premise. And Lost Time, I think, is going to be very interesting. I've got Spreading Darkness. I got a few things out there.
Huh. Okay, so let's go back to the music real quick, though. So, did you start doing music first and singing, or was acting?
All concurrent.
Okay.
Concurrent. I was doing athletics. I was playing football, singing, and acting.
Wow.
That's what I was doing. I was very busy in school. I had a drive, a pretty big drive.
So you were totally driven.
That's why I'm on this show.
There you go. So
I think that's how we should all live our lives, totally driven.
Exactly. So did you want to pursue music first, or did it just happen with acting? Like,
I did my first film with Sinatra, and then I came out to L.A., and they put me under contract, and the film world started to happen, and it was a lot more shkadol than it would if I was going to go to Europe and sing some compromario parts in the opera somewhere, you know what I mean, and build a career up that way.
Sure.
So I always had an idea that I would, do films, get notoriety there, and then at a certain point transition into the singing.
Well, your first film you did with Sinatra, how incredible was that?
Well, being an Italian American, in our households there were, well, at least when I was growing up, there were 2 figures. Basso. There was the Pope. There was the Pope and Sinatra, and not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, exactly.
So to do your first film with a guy that really changed the face of the immigrant population for Italians in terms of music and acting and what he did for society, all of that stuff, it was quite terrific for me to work alongside him and meet him and be his friend over the years. He was also good friends with Cubby Broccoli, who did the Bond films, and who I was friends with Cubby Broccoli from doing the Bond pictures. So I was lucky to have these giant figures to know them,
Wow, that must have been incredible. And I've seen like a lot of interviews you've done lately, and you keep mentioning like the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra. And do you ever think there'll ever be anything similar to that today?
How do I mention the Rat Pack and Sinatra? In what way? What context?
What did I see? The one interview, I think you were twerking with the host on TV.
Huh. Well, what I say is that to me there's a lot of wannabe acts out there,
Right.
And the thing with Sinatra and those cats, they were and he had an authenticity about him. He had an edge about him too. I think he was the only singer that said, "I'm going to break your legs, you'd believe him." And I kind of like
right.
I'm the only guy out there today that could say that and you'd believe him. You know what I mean? That's doing this kind of music. So there's a certain kind of, where I'm my own entity, and I think people are responding to that. You know, when I performed at the Venetian, I headlined there. I performed with Don Rickles at the Orleans. You know, and I'm going to be traveling the world and doing a bunch of stuff. So I love doing the music. I feel like I've been let out of prison. You know, you said to me earlier, you opened the whole conversation about, you know, you were surprised seeing me sing when, you know, I played these bad guys over the years. But to be quite frank, anyone that knew me in my family or close friends was surprised that I didn't pursue the singing at that point. So what took you so long to pursue it? Well, there was no need to when Sinatra was alive. Me, you know, and I think the climate of society, what we have today in society, the climate of our society is such that it needed something. It needed. I think we have a very divisive time, and we didn't have that before. You know. Right. Well, we did. We had typical times, but what got us through it was this great American songbook, which I believe is the Shakespeare of America. It's the golden age of American music. Not taking any away from you know, the kind of music you like to play. Right. Oh, you there? Yeah, I'm right here. I was waiting for you to say something in defense of your music. Oh, I thought the call dropped. No, that's hard rock. See, but I listen to everything. I mean, my roots are with hard rock, and growing up in the '70s, it was with Kiss. But like you said, on Sundays was Macaroni Day. Listening with my mom and my grandparents was listening to Sinatra with macaroni. You know what I mean? Eating our macaroni. Right. So. Yeah, I listen to everything, and I can respect everything and enjoy everything. And listening to the CD, I mean, what I keep telling people all week when we were promoting this, people are like, "Wow, Robert Davi," and they're going to say naturally Goonies, and they're going to say, James Bond, and I'm like, "Yeah, but he can sing," and they look at me like kind of crazy, like, "What?" I'm like, "He can sing." Really, people would say incredibly. Yeah, like they're like as shocked as I was. Other people are shocked too. And then I tell him, I'm like, really? He has this CD where he sings Sinatra. I said, if you close your eyes, you're going to picture Frank Sinatra. I said, that's how good he is. Well, if you notice, I'm not imitating Sinatra at all. And I don't know if you got that quote that Quincy Jones said. Yes. Did you ever read that quote? I don't have it in front of me, but I did see it. Yeah, that's what you should kind of like go on, because it kind of says it all in a nutshell. You know, I've gotten some articles you could read out there from the Huffington Post or Different Broadway World or Las Vegas World and all that stuff about the music. Also, Don Heckman is the LA Times music critic. But you see a lot of different interesting things going on or being said. That kind of it's again, I'm not imitating anybody. Right. So was it also was it a tribute to Frank maybe? Yeah, that's what it was. What I wanted to do was to bring notice to his social contribution, not only his Picasso-esque contribution to music, but his contribution to society. He was the first singer that came out against anti-Semitism and racial bigotry. And like I said, the divisiveness in our country, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning or whatever it is, we're all Americans. And we seem to be at a discourse that was very confrontational as opposed to listening to each other and trying to work together in a different way. So this music, the Great American Songbook, is an amalgam from the black jazz and jump blues artists, the Scotch, Irish, English, Welsh, Norwegian, American Indian, Arabic, whatever you want, that have been here since the Revolutionary War, and a large portion of the songbook has been written by the sons and daughters of Jewish immigrants. You can almost say without the Jews there would be no great American songbook. So this amalgam of our personalities in our country, the cultural fabric of America, created a music that affected all the world and still does. Sinatra, was, again, like I said, he was the first guy that came out against anti-Semitism and racial bigotry at a time when it was not in vogue. And we see this kind of divisiveness today, so I wanted to bring that forward in his contribution. Again, the humanitarian aspect of him, because he was a friend and what I knew of him. Not just a sensationalized rag sheet exploitation of someone's life.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think you did a hell of a job, and like you said, you got many great words by people like Quincy Jones, who's very respected in music business, and I mean, it's just incredible what you've done. And
well, it's not just that he's respected in music. Quincy produced Sinatra and worked with him since '59. Guys like that. I've got people like that around working with me and stuff that knew him. But anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I was going to say about your Christmas song coming out now. Now, this is an original song, you said?
Nick Villalongo, a friend of mine, Nick Villalongo, his dad was Tony the Lip. He was one of the soprano guys. He wrote a book a couple of years ago, The Father. He passed since then, called Shut Up and Eat. That all us Italian actors, Gandolfini included, wrote a little recipe and a little story in the book for The Father. So I met the son, Nick, through The Father, and Nick wrote scripts and directed and stuff. And he came to my show, saw my live show, and then wrote a wonderful review for Newsmax about his experience because he used to go to the Copacabana as a young boy, seeing all the great acts. And then he came to me with this new song, this original Christmas song, New York City Christmas. Hence, he played this for me in his, he had a little recording of it, and I saw some merit in that, and I liked it, and I wanted to find something that did celebrate the Christmas holiday and did pay tribute to New York City. So I said if we could do this with Chris Walden and at Capitol Records, and Al Schmidt can mix it, my team there. And we did, and Steve Penley, I don't know if you've seen the artwork, Basso. Did you see the artwork on that?
Yes, I did. Kind of one of the Leroy Neiman type.
Yeah, this guy is, Steve Penley is one of the great young American artists of our time here that does these iconic images. And he heard the song, and he heard me sing live at an event, at a charity event. And he did the album cover and the back cover, two beautiful 6 foot by 6 foot paintings that are just stunning. His work is incredible. So that's the artwork for this particular single.
Very nice. Now, do you have plans to do any more original music in the future? Or?
Yeah, I have more than half my next album finished, of which the last song on that will be original, and that's my last song, kind of Davi sings Sinatra thing. And then it'll be after that Davi sings Davi, basically, so to speak. And
Davi sings Davi. So, for many years now, you've had these two passions with music and singing and acting. Looking back, which would you prefer to do more now? Where would your heart really be more at now? Would you prefer to be singing or? Well,
the singing, I feel like I've been let out of prison. Let's say I've been in prison for the last 30 years because while acting is fun, it's god-awful hours and many hours on the set, and you're only using a part of yourself, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's fun, and I still love the medium, of course.
Sure.
And love to act. But the singing provides that live audience communication. And I really have a message. I have a lot to say to people through song and through my show, because it's a one-man show. It's not just a guy getting up and singing a couple of tunes with a big band. I show film clips of my movies. I have some fun stories about different incidents and things, and it's funny and touching, and emotional.
Very nice. Now, you mentioned James Gandolfini earlier. What's something that surprised me is, were you ever asked to be on The Sopranos or tried to be on The Sopranos?
I never tried to be on The Sopranos. There was talk at one moment, and Bobby Kennedy Jr. told one of the producers one time that they should have me as the head of the New York mob because he felt I was the only guy that really could go head-to-head with James Gandolfini. That would be a heavyweight title fight he'd like to pay to see. And they really didn't choose it, really, actors that had the same stature or weight as Gandolfini, more caricaturish, to go up against him. And for whatever reason, and I played I recently had The Iceman coming out. I had that come out with Michael Shannon, Chris Evans, and I also then did Gangster Chronicles. In 1980, before Broadwalk Empire, we did Gangster Chronicles. That was the history of the mob, So I trendsetted everything. The Wise Guy was another show that we did an arc of, But and then Profiler was ahead of its time. So I've been a lot of groundbreaking shows that then have been taken, revamped.
Right. Yeah, because I was thinking about that. I was just like, wow, it would have been perfect in The Sopranos. And I just wondered, especially because they always tried to have a lot of the Italian actors on there, why you never were on there.
Well, look at Broadwalk Empire today. You know what I mean? They should be knocking my door down going, hey, come on in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially this year they should be. They could really use the
even that other show, that Magic Miami or whatever the hell that is. I mean, all these shows, they got all these, look, acting to me has become now, actors, we have great actors, don't get me wrong. We have marvelous talents. But we don't have the faces, periodically they don't have the, when I grew up, or when I was like a kid, guys that Edward G. Robinson, I mean, even though it was not my generation, it was my parents' generation, I looked at Spencer Tracy and James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart and Edward G. Robinson, Lee Marvin. These were faces, guys that you could hit you in the solar plex with a look. And nowadays, everybody looks like a CAA or ICM agent. I don't know who anybody is.
Right. Yeah. And at Boardwalk Empire, I can't get into. I've tried watching it, and I just cannot get into it.
Yeah, well, they all, look, that again is, there is a trend going on that has watered down a lot of, anyway, that's for another show, this conversation.
Hey, now, just to show that you're a guy that has a sense of humor, another thing I came across while researching you is the Gangland style versus Gundam style video you did. How did that come about?
That came about because I was pissed off at this metrosexual crap that was going on, and that still goes on. I mean, I'm all for everything. You know what I mean? I have no judgments of anything.
Right.
But when you have all of a sudden, again, growing up, it was, and it was also a parody I was doing because it was a promotion for Iceman. So that two in the back of the head, Gangland, not
Gotcha.
Gangland. You know what I mean? So it was really meant to draw attention to the Iceman coming out, and MTV asked me to come and do something, and they had a bunch of ideas, and I said, you know what? I've been wanting to do this thing here, Gangland versus Gangnam, and so that the soft version went out on MTV, and then somebody put out the uncensored version, which is the one I prefer, even though it's got some slurs.
That's funny. Now, did you write
that's
the
thing
material for
that
that?
should go absolutely viral. That should have gone like crazy viral. And but I know from major people that have major influence who are laughing their asses off about it, but we're afraid to push it. They said we can't push it because it's politically incorrect. And I said, here we go again, politically incorrect. Yeah,
and you know what? I think that was one of the interviews I saw. You were talking about politically incorrect and the whole, how everybody has to be politically correct today. And you're right. it's like people are scared to say what's on their mind anymore.
They're scared to say. You can't. The only thing you can say that nobody that is, let's take the nativity scene and the Christmas tree down, and let's not call it Christmas anymore. That seems to be politically correct to some people. That seems to be absolutely fine. But, to have a quip or two, or to tell a girl she looks good in a pair of, high heels, is all of a sudden something that you can't, that becomes politically incorrect, or, a ton of other things.
Yeah, it's a crazy world now. It's you would think as time is going on, stuff would loosen up a little, and it seems like it's getting more confined.
They're loosening up. Some aspects of society are loosening up, but the aspects of society are being tightened down.
Right.
It definitely is getting worse. Robert, I play during the Christmas season. I play Santa Claus. And you'd be surprised on how many places will just not want, well, no, we can't have that. I've offered to do free, hey, if there's a hospital or something that wants me to come visit the kids, oh, no, you can't because some families don't. And I'm just like, it's Santa Claus. It's not hurting anybody. But I agree with you 100%. We're basically becoming too sensitive.
Santa Claus, and look, there is a mythology and imagination, and like I say, the reason why I did New York City Christmas, I don't know if you guys have heard it. Have you heard it yet?
No. I'm a huge Christmas music fan, so I can't wait to hear it now.
Well, you know what when you hear the song, it's a fun song, but it hits on a couple of things that I think are relevant, and it's an absurdity. It's an absurdity that people are trying to denigrate and take down the Christmas tree and the Judeo-Christian values that our country grew up on. Look, I'm all for. You can believe in a rock if you want. Believe in a blade of grass if you want. A stop sign. Worship a fire hydrant. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? If you want. But don't all of a sudden take a tradition that's good for mankind, peace on earth, goodwill toward men, and the historical reference to a birth of a man that did take place, whether or not you want to believe he was the son of God or not, there's a historical significance to the guy. You know what I mean? We're celebrating his birth. And,
right.
You can go to New York, and I'm not against any religion, like I say, but in certain places now you can have, 2,000 people hitting the cement with their foreheads 5 times a day, stopping traffic, and the Christmas tree can't be put up in the town square. Go figure.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me either. I just don't get it. I can't believe that people really get offended by that, and even to make the time out of their day to make it an issue. That's what's even more mind-boggling to me.
Well, because it's a concerted effort. The country is under attack. Now I'm going to get zapped for this, but that's basically what it is. There's a subversive element that is trying to, I haven't heard what Billy Graham said. I'm interested to see what he had to say. But he said he's wept for America, and the country and the kids are not being taught the history. And again, look at America, the ideal of America, that shining city on the hill. I don't know the average age of your kids that are listening. But America is a great country. If you took America out of the equation for the last 200 years, the world would be a lot different. We may be all under, Nazi rule if America wasn't around. And there are other, and there are decisions that are made by politicians, by men, whether it be in the church, whether it be in the political situation or anything. But the founding principles and the ideal of America, when people want to piss all over the flag, it's a symbol of, it's not the individual man's decision of something. America didn't do it. the people we elected into office or chose to do something or manipulate, that was doing it. So we've got to. There seems to be and I think it's all going toward a one world government thing. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just an actor that knows nothing. I sing. You know what I mean? I just want to sing.
Here's one for you. The movie Showgirls you did.
Yes.
That movie there was so much hype about it, and it was pushed and pushed and pushed, and then it came out, and people just crapped all over it. What did you think of the movie when it came out?
Well, I like Paul Verhoeven a lot. I've always liked his work. I wanted to work with him, and that's why I did the film. I'd never done anything that, I had some difficult lines to navigate, to get through. I think a couple of them became classic lines. And I know nowadays they have like midnight screenings, and it's become a cult film.
Right.
I'm not going to. I do something and then I move on, and whatever happens to it happens to it.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of good. You do your work, and you do your job, and on to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be. I mean, it's funny that how many years later, and people still talk about Showgirls or Goonies or Die Hard or one of the Bonds, when there's films that have been made that you forget about. So if I have a handful of films people keep referencing over the years, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, we had Corey Feldman on a few weeks ago, or back in August, and he was kind of saying the same thing. Like, I made these movies that I never would have expected would remain, in the public eye, and that people would still be talking about 20, 30 years later, and it's just mind-blowing to him.
Yeah. He's a good kid, Corey.
Yeah.
He's been a friend over the years.
So let me get my wife on here because she's dying to talk to you. So.
All right, Chris.
Welcome.
Yes, I'd love to. We got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, there you go, Jess. Robert Davi, you're live on Totally Driven Radio.
Hi, Mr. Davi. How are you?
All right, Jess. How are you?
Good. Okay, now my turn to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If you do another Sinatra, you know what song I'd like to hear, don't you?
I don't. Tell me.
It was the what is it? The Time of My Years?
The Time of My Years.
Mhm.
Is that the name of the song?
Mhm.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Days were long, and time was short. It was a very good year.
Oh, it was a very good year,
Very good year. Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Mhm.
No,
Did you
I
do.
That
It was very.
That
okay,
was that's by Irvin Drake. It was when I was 17.
Mhm.
That's the one. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, what was the first one you said?
There is another one that he had done. I myself, I'm only 42 years old. I grew up with my dad's parents where it was you listen to Sinatra, Dean Martin, all of those a whole weekend, per se.
That's right.
I am not Italian. But we would listen to all those different genres, the blues, and I enjoyed it all. And I will look up those songs and I will email them over to you.
Yeah, tell me. But I do. It was a very good year.
Now, it also seems as though you do Sinatra, and your first
I do the American Songbook. Let me clarify.
Right,
that.
I had heard you say that, but
yeah,
I noticed. This is what I noticed, was your first film was with him, and the first place you recorded was where he recorded.
Right, Capitol Records.
Mhm. So it seems like you're completing the circle for him of work that wasn't fully completed.
That could be. You know, I think again, like there's a time right now, and look, I know I saw him live, and there's been no one that gave that experience that I've seen. They're great performers, but no one that gave you the thing that he did. You know, and I'm just because of my film career and acting, and you know, whatever I can bring. I did a performance on Long Island. In East Meadow at the Eisenhower Park, August 30th, for 10,000 people. And that was, you know, I got to tell you, that was thrilling, and the response was just amazing. And that was, you know, that's, them there is, you know, that area there is all Sinatra country.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so this is, but yeah, I'd love to hear the song selections you that are your favorites.
Okay. And also to
go.
let you know, we are setting up a trip for Queens.
I'm setting up a
family
trip
and
to
I.
Queens? Oh, you are?
No,
You are? Well,
we are. Mm-hmm.
yes.
So when we
Well,
set it up, I'll let you know if you're out this way.
Yes. I live in California, but I probably will be performing there next summer.
Oh, good.
Again, in that venue. Yeah.
Why wait till Queens? He's got to come back to South Philly and go to Termini's, get some cannolis and some pizzelles.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
If I wind up back east for this Christmas, I might be coming back east for the Christmas song, and if I make a trip up to Philly, I'll let you know.
Very good. Very good.
I make homemade gravy if you want dinner.
All right, Jen,
sounds
I'm
good.
cutting you off.
Yes. But it was a
Well, it was
pleasure
great talking to you, and thank you for all the emails, Jess.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to embarrass her now. She's literally fighting back tears talking to you.
She was what?
Fighting back tears talking to you.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah. Because she, she loves you.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, you moved her to tears, yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Well, give her a hug, man. Give her a hug, Pasha, will you?
I will. It's a good thing for you because you're 3,000 miles away. Now I have to deal with the tears. I got to clean up the mess over here.
There's no mess. Kiss those tears.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I have another friend on the line, Nick, who does a lot of our TV movie talk here. He wants to ask you a question as well.
Go ahead, and then I'm sorry, I've got to cut it.
That's all right. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, everybody talks about your movie career and everything, but I'm sitting here and I'm looking at just the list of TV that you've done, and it's monumental. I mean, all the way back from like 78. And the one thing that I thought was really cool was when you played Christian Troy II, and you sort of reunited with like Roma Mafia and pretty much
Julian.
You know, your kids. Yeah, and Julian. And
Julian,
so how did
Julian
that come
was my
about?
best friend. Well, Julian's
Really?
one of my best friends. I was his best man at his wedding when he was married, and so they needed somebody that, you know, that they could believe taught Christian the ropes. And as the show gone on another year, there was going to be a lot of interesting shit happening between us.
That's awesome. And let me just say that you know, as far as TV goes, you're in both my all-time favorite TV show and my all-time favorite canceled too soon TV show, and that's significant for the same actor to be in both of them, with the Fall Guy and then again in Karen Sisko.
Oh. Well, I was hoping you would say Profiler.
Well, The Profiler is an excellent show. I just think that Karen Sisko was canceled way too soon, and I grew up with The Fall Guy, so I love it so much. And you were Scar, right?
I did a couple of them.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. But the Christian Troy thing, I was curious how that came about, you know, reuniting with the cast and everything.
Yeah, well, that was because Jules and I are best friends, and they were looking for a part for me that could have some interest and to play his. So
it was a great part for you. It was I was a huge fan of the show, and it was just awesome to see you on screen and to play his father. I mean, come on. So that's it for me, guys. Just thank you for answering my question.
Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, everybody, go to Amazon.com. You can buy Davi Sings Sinatra, and you can also buy his Christmas single, New York City Christmas. Go buy 10 copies of them, and he will send you a text message thanking you.
They'll reach you with proof of that, and we'll set it up. And if you buy 10 copies, I'll call them on Christmas week. We won't do a text. We'll do a call to his family.
You know, my wife just ordered 10 copies, right? Real quick before I let you go, can I get you to cut a quick ID for me and
Sure.
Say something good. Say something special. Say whatever you'd want to say.
All right. Tell me when.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Robert Davi, and you're listening to my friends Basso, Frank, and Jess, and sometimes Nick on Totally Driven Radio. So tune in and stay tuned and drive yourself wherever you want to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And, we'll be in touch, and we're going to keep plugging the stuff for you, and let's sell a lot of CDs.
Play some of the music so they get it. Yeah, sell some CDs. Let's see what goes. Push the heck out of that stuff. Come on.
Yeah. As we let you go, we're going to play Summer Wind for everybody. Robert, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with everything, and let's keep in touch, and let's go eat some food.
Yeah, and if they sell some copies, we'll do the show again. We'll do a part 2.
Sounds good.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. See ya.
Ciao.
All right, everybody, here is, as I said, Robert Davi from his CD, Davi Sings Sinatra, a little Summer Wind.
Summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, and then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind, like painted kites, those days and nights they went flying by. The world was new beneath the blue umbrella sky. Then softer than the piper man, one day it called to you. I lost you to the summer wind. The autumn wind and the winter wind, they have all come and gone. Still those days, those lonely days, they go on and on. And guess who sighs his lullaby through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind. That warm summer wind, it came and took you away.
There you go. And there's our good friend Robert Davi singing Sinatra, "The Summer Wind." How incredible is that, Frank?
Oh, sorry, I had the phone on mute. That was good. That was good. Actually, while the interview was going on, I punched up. You know, he already has a Christmas song out.
Is it the New York one? Because
no, that's not out yet. But he has Mistletoe and Holly, and I just downloaded it. That's how good it was.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I see the New York one that
looks like he did it in 2011.
Okay, because the New York City Christmas one.
I was, because I'm a huge fan of Christmas music, and there is nothing. You get a good Christmas song, and there is nothing more timeless than that. I mean, I'll have to tell you my top 10 Christmas songs someday, but he's got the voice is phenomenal. And you know what's funny? If you remember in the Goonies, he did sing opera in that movie.
Wow. You're absolutely right. He did.
Yeah. He when they captured Chunk, remember he was singing. That should have been we should have paid attention back then.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you said that, it clicked in my head. I was like, you know what? He did sing. He was trying to be louder than. Yes, that's actually really true. Good. That was a great example. Actually, I'm surprised I didn't think of it.
I'm not the clue. You and Jess both sounded like you were two starstruck little teenagers.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what? You're lucky I didn't tell him the truth about you.
He loves Santa. Davi loves Santa. That's all I got to say.